a product super quickly because that product has been stored in a database. In this case, now we are going to start the MongoDB journey.
So now we're going to go to MongoDB Atlas. And then so we're going to create an account so we can just sign up with Google.
Can you explain what is MongoDB Atlas for, so that the everyone will be understanding quickly?
So MongoDB Atlas is basically allows us to use MongoDB. It's like a web browser. It's like a web version of MongoDB. So it allows us to basically access our connect our database.
So basically, instead of you are downloading and installing on your computer, it is just allowing you to use on the web version of the MongoDB. Am I right?
Yes.
Got it. So it is it is the same thing. The using on your computer versus the stuff. When your project get matured, then you can download the MongoDB and then you can manage your the local version, or you can install on the cloud as either you can get the virtual box and then install the MongoDB, or you can use the managed, which is MongoDB is available in each of the cloud. So learn MongoDB and you just give the reason. And
so yeah, so when we're registering, we're gonna have to answer some questions. So after we click on our answer, we can just click on finish. And then we can click on M0 because this is the free version. And we can leave everything as it is.
So they're using the AWS, as you see, and the which region, North Virginia. And then you can give you a cluster name. Database, we always call the cluster because the data can be coming from the different different front end, the different backend, different backend, but the data actually combining from collectively from one place. That's the reason we call the cluster. Okay, go ahead.
So now we can hit on create. So now we have to basically authenticate ourselves, so we can just do it through the username and password. So
basically now you got your MongoDB. Say an example, you downloaded MongoDB on your computer or the cloud and you install the MongoDB. Now the first things you have to create a username and password.
So I'm just gonna, so I already have the username here, so I'm just gonna put in like a memorable password because we're gonna need this later. So, and I'm just gonna click on create user. And then we can click on, we can have this as it is. And
so the reason you see the my local computer means that we are actually writing the code on the local machine, and that's the reason we say my local environment, and it actually captured the IP address as well.
Yep. So now we can finish and close and go to overview. So now we have to click on connect.
Yep.
And then now basically this is where we basically connected to our project. So we can connect it through Compass, which is like the web app. I mean, sorry, the desktop app version of MongoDB. Right now we're on the web version, so we can just do it through the web version. That's not a problem. So now we can click on drivers, and we have to make sure that we can leave this as it is, Node.js and 5.5 or later. And in order to use MongoDB in our project, we have to install it with an npm. And then this is basically the string connection string that we need to have in our project. So let's do this. So first of all, we're gonna install MongoDB. We can just disconnect, close the server.
From your terminal, you have to install the MongoDB.
Yep, from the terminal, yes.
You have to be on the same project, remember, so that it will all work. It will all be going to the same place. Okay, so make sure you know the basic thing. So that is done, right?
Yep, that is done. So what we're gonna do is, so basically, as you saw, we have this string, and this is very case sensitive, and this is very unique to you. So we're gonna basically put it in our code base in such a way that it's not accessible by other people. So
So for the sake of argument, we are using on the code base, but for any professional, the project or the enterprise grade project, we all use the third-party application. For the TS40, we use the Vault. Vault is where we actually store all the code, the secret. So actually nobody can hack it. If they hack, nothing will be happening. So for the learning, we are using we are actually storing the secret on the same project. But for the enterprise solution, we use the third-party software like the Vault. That's where you store all your project secret, any of the API token, API key, all this, so that nobody can actually hack it.
So we created a folder called config, and then inside we have a file called default.json. So in it we have a JSON format structure, and then this is basically the key, like the Mongo URI that I just created, and this is basically the connection string that I got from the MongoDB Atlas. So here, as you can see, this is the username that I put in before, and now it's asking for my password. So I'll just basically enter my password. It's this, I chose to have a password which is the same as my username, so that's what it is. So there's that. And inside the config, we're going to have another file called db.js. db stands for database, and this is where we're going to actually connect the database to our project. So we're going to do, we're going to do Mongoose, const Mongoose, and we're going to require it. So let's make sure if Mongoose is something we already installed. Yep, it's already installed, and so we don't have to worry about it.
When you have the npm space install space MongoDB, that actually brought it here. If it is not installed, then it will not work, right?
Yep. So we're requiring the config, and let's create a variable called db, and let's do config dot get the Mongo URI. So here, what's happening is we're getting the Mongo URI, the key that we created here from the default.js. We're basically taking it and storing it into the DB variable. And let's create a function called connectDB. It's going to be an async function, and we're going to use a try-catch blocks. Try-catch is something, it's basically used for error handling. That's something that it's widely used in JavaScript. So we're going to do await mongoose.connect db, and then we can just console log MongoDB connected. Otherwise, if there is an error, we're going to console log the error, console.error, and then we can just put the error message in, and then we could just process.exit. So basically what's happening here is we have a function, and so try-catch block is basically used for error handling. So we're going to try whatever is inside the try block. If there is an error, this catch block is going to catch that error and basically throw the error out so that we know that there's an error. Now we're going to basically export this variable. So that's basically, there's that. And we can go back to our server.js, and basically the connectDB that we're exporting here, we're basically going to import it into server.js. connectDB it's coming from the config/db, and now that we have the connectDB, which basically connects to our function, we have to call the function so that whatever is inside the function actually executes.
So in JavaScript, we call the function. In other programming language, we call the method. A function is nothing but a collective task you are actually putting into a function or in a bucket so that you can call whenever you need it. So the purpose of the function is to rewrite the reusability of the code. You can call them anywhere you need it, and whenever you need to reuse something, you just make a function so that the code become lightweight. It is easy to maintain. And that's the reason he wrote that function. And this is the function he is using multiple places. Maybe he will be using many other places as we continue.
Okay, so now I just ran the server, and this is basically what we were saying before. So which is basically coming from here, which basically means that the server is running on whatever port we specified, which is 4000. And now we can see the MongoDB connected is also being logged. That means here we're calling the connectDB function, and it means that the connection was successful. So we were able to successfully connect to our MongoDB.
So it means we are connected with the backend and the database, am I right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are. We did not write the backend yet. We're just in the project. We just brought the MongoDB. We created the cloud-based MongoDB, and we actually the configured on the project. Did I say it right?
Yes. So basically, our backend project is successfully connected to the database. So now we're going to basically create a structure, like the schema for our products. So
to understand this, the schema, it is important. So means whatever the payload you are sending, can you go back to that the UI, the product, sure, so that it will be refreshing for everybody. So this part is important. Go back to the product, please. Yeah. So this is the one. So we are actually going to, that's the one we are going to just create a structure. We call the schema. In the database, we call the schema. And so that's the one we are going to create now. And it is widely used word schema. It's a structure in the database, the terms of the wording.
So so here we have created a folder called models, and inside the models we have another file called product.js. So in this file is basically where we're going to define the structure for the product. But in a large scale application, you might have many things that you're dealing with. You might be dealing with users, you might be dealing with many other things. So all of those schemas are going to go under this exact same models folder. So we're going to, since we're going to use Mongoose to create the schema, so we're going to require Mongoose first. So Mongoose.
So in another way, the more the backend logic you're writing, more API you are creating based on the user story, you have to create the schema, because your user story is asking you to create some data, store some data.
Yes. So so this is basically, we're following the convention. So we create a variable called product schema, and then we do mongoose.schema. And so the first property we're going to write is the name. This is basically the name of the product. And so we're going to do, it's basically like a key value pair again. So name is the key, and we have the curly braces. And then, so the type of the name property is going to be a string. String is basically a series of characters. And then we're going to do required